What's up, y'all? It's Graysea. Welcome to this episode. We're talking about abandonment and what went into the making of the music video and an all-around discussion of the song, lyrics. Did people's pants rip? I don't know. Fucking come on, find out.
That was really good.
SpongeBob song.
Did people
about
throw
that?
up?
Did people throw up?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I
Possible.
know.
It's possible.
It's likely.
Yeah.
Did we
Yeah.
play on top of a bridge or underneath the bridge?
I don't remember. You'll have
We
to
were under the
come in-
surface.
Yeah.
You'll have to come in and watch it.
Find out next. On this episode, brought to you by Modest Merch.
Modest merch.
Hey, Modest Merch. Shout
Modest
out.
merch.
It's
hey,
merch.
Mike, go buy some Modest merch.
It's merch.
Get your merch printed.
That's modest.
Their merch doesn't rip.
From David.
Never.
But
It doesn't
no.
rip?
No.
It doesn't.
It doesn't rip.
But he'll print rips. He'll print rips
Yeah.
for
It
you.
rips.
And he'll give you all
And
the
his rips will rip. Like he'll rip a rip.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know.
No, he'll rip you a rip. Like it'll rip. Like it rips. Like that rips hard. His rip
Slap.
That
rips.
rips. It
Gotta
slaps.
rip the rip. He'll riff a rip that rips.
Jesus Christ.
Peter,
All right, let's talk about the
pickle the
video.
pepper.
Good intro.
I'd say I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is probably the most visually dependent music video that we've had on whether or not it would work under like the most perfect circumstances, because face value there's not a whole lot happening with the backgrounds of the videos. It's a straight performance video.
Yeah.
There's like
lot
no
of cardio.
narrative to it. It's just kind of us playing and trying to look cool with some like urban shots in the background.
All killer, no filler.
Yeah.
Correct. And
Rest
also,
in peace, Sum 41.
yeah, rest in peace, Sum 41. Sum 41 broke up today. I think it's any,
I think they're going on 2 more tours.
any
but
yeah,
that's
Sum 41
Yeah.
broke up after going on 2 more tours.
Storming
And they-
through the
they
party
changed the
like my
price
name
of
is
the
on email.
tickets.
Yeah, they changed the price of the tickets.
Let's make this a commodity real quick.
fine. Yeah.
But with the locations also came a bit of a weird timeline
Mm-hmm.
where the first location under the first bridge, if you're from Milwaukee, you know it's the Hone Bridge over by Lake Michigan.
Yeah, you get there through the.
Yeah, the home bridge.
You'll know it when you smell it.
Hone Bridge. Yeah, you'll know it when you smell it.
Yeah, but there's
Does it smell like salt? Does it smell like dead fish?
No, it
Does
smells
it smell
like shit.
prosperous
Yeah.
awesomeness?
It smells like shit.
All
There's a
the
sewage
above.
treatment
Sewage,
plant underneath it.
But yeah, actually anyone
Go
can
ahead,
get there. Oh, sorry. Anyone can get there. That's in the port of Milwaukee.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You just gotta smash
Sorry.
through a gate. And,
It's essentially a public park down there.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be
But-
there until 8 p.m.
We didn't know that
Yeah.
rolling up
mm-hmm.
to shoot the video. So as I recall it, we were, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 takes into that section of the video, and the security guard came rolling through. He
Yeah.
was like, hey, I got to close this up.
He let us shoot like 2 more times.
He
before
did.
He kicked
Yeah,
us
he
out.
was very cool. Shout out to that guy.
Came through wagging his
Whatever his
finger.
name is.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is. You know who you are.
That day was had a lot of moving parts.
It was
First
crazy.
location got like kind of ended pretty soon. I think our second location that we went to was like some park. We didn't actually use that, and we went to our like plan B second location.
Yeah, we were kind of left scrambling, actually, to figure out where we were going to go next.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple options. I actually forget what it was, but we weren't gonna actually go to the place that we ended up going to afterwards.
It worked out though, I think.
It did, yeah, totally.
For like the night shots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the day shots were kind of hard, and you kind of set it up really well in the final product that it doesn't necessarily change like because we had to really work with the sunlight.
Yeah.
You know, so like
Yeah, it was
takes
kind of
had to
all over the
happen
place.
immediately, because then, I mean, you're just going further in the time of the song while the sun is going down. It won't look good.
Sure.
That was a video where I learned a
For
lot
lack of a better word.
in post because I don't know. I think especially the first opening scene, the performances, I think I was a little like aimless when it came to like floating around with the camera and stuff. I wish I did a little bit better job with that. Get more like isolated shots of each of you.
Yeah.
But I think the chaoticness came through, and then at the end when we went day night, it kind of like
Yeah.
brought it together.
Full
So
circle a little
yeah,
bit.
Yeah. And the change from, under the bridge to under the other bridges, from day to night at the time in the song just worked really well. It was really seamless. It changed visually and sonically together. I thought that was really cool.
Like for not
edit.
having a plan where it would end up.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it could have worked any better. Like how we ended up in that spot.
Totally.
It seemed like it worked out
the
perfectly.
light was changing a lot, and you might be able to tell in the video that some of them are a little different. But
I couldn't.
it like meshed really good. I feel like a lot of that stuff was hidden. Like
I also feel like you kind of like ordered it chronologically though, in terms of like
that is true.
the first shots in the video were in the first one or two takes that we actually did.
Yeah. It's like
And I was worried about that because of how like cut off we got, sort of. Because personally, I felt like I like performed like shit the first half of the video, like during the daytime parts. Like I know there was like many times during the video where I was like, oh god, I'm fucking up. I'm not playing the song right, and I was like, of course, the one that we're not going to get enough shots of.
Right.
I'm playing it wrong.
Well, there's
half the
also
time.
there's also like
And you
historically.
did a good job of hiding that.
Yeah, historically, historically, I won't have to worry about singing or screaming until way into the song, whereas in Abandonment,
Yeah, it starts.
it's
right away.
immediate. And I remember like thinking that same thing. It's like, what you have to understand is like, these were the first times that we played these songs in a quote unquote live setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't even have the final mixes and masters back of the songs when we shot the videos. So we were actually filmed the videos to the rough like recordings, like
Right,
unmixed,
yeah.
unmastered. So it wasn't the final songs. Like it was very early on. Like we had finished tracking and then just like shot the videos right away. So
Right.
I mean, it was so, the songs were so new still. Like, I had to put a couple days worth of work into like relearning the songs. Because like through the recording process, there's stuff that gets changed a little bit that you just kind of feel on the fly, and it's like, there's not enough time really for that to like sink in the moment, so you had to go back and revisit it. And I remember having to like go back and actually put in a couple hours to each song to like
Amen.
learning. You, because you didn't record them.
Right.
You weren't in the band when they were recorded.
Mm-hmm.
It was a process for sure, but a good one. It forced me to learn these songs, like without a doubt. Like, didn't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing up there. So,
Yeah, that was one of the more stressful ones actually. Just like with the how abruptly it ended. I mean, thank God he didn't like kick us out.
Yeah.
On the fly. They closed it at 8, and I think he let us in there till 8:30. And when we finished up that take, I remember like we drove all of our cars out. We were like literally like running out with drums, like people holding
It was like
two
a
cymbals.
convoy.
Yeah, people were like running out so he didn't keep this guy like 45 minutes past when he was supposed to go home, and then just kind of piled everything into the cars, and then decided to go meet at like a park and figure out where to go next.
Yeah.
And the moon was like super crazy that night. I remember
It was.
yeah, there was even like a good shot of the moon in the final like video too.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
But then you had the second location.
Yeah, it was under the Marquette interchange, in between the, like, near the Amtrak station, like, in between the river, like, of the Milwaukee Valley and the train tracks. So like we got down there. So it was
Down
like,
by the river.
yeah, like
Yeah.
under the Marquette interchange, like by the river and the Amtrak tracks.
Yeah, and you could really see like the depths of all of those overpasses right there. Like
Yeah.
Marquette interchange, like it's high up right
Yeah.
there. So that was really cool to see, you know, in the final versions, like just how vast it really is when you're standing underneath.
It like had the like classic freeway sound to it too.
Sure.
The
yeah.
entire time that we were filming, we were underneath freeways
Yeah.
the entire time. And
Yeah.
like,
And city crickets, you know,
Yeah,
they're just
city crickets.
slightly more annoying.
Needles
Yeah.
on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, there was heroin needles at both locations.
Yeah,
you had to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't walk around with your bare feet. That's
Yeah.
for sure. You
No.
yeah,
don't get AIDS.
yeah. But
I will say, like, for you guys, I think this was good. It established you as like a Milwaukee band shooting under like these iconic places.
and that was all you. You brought forward the location of the first of doing Under the Hone. So I'd always seen stuff filmed under there, but I had no idea where that actually was.
I think
or
somebody
how you could
just-
even get down there.
somebody just scrolling, and they see Under the Bridges. They're like, okay, this is Milwaukee. I
Totally.
might give it another chance to listen if I wasn't going to anyway. And I think this is one of the first videos. I think it's the third video that came out.
Yeah.
And it got the most traction when it comes to like people voicing their opinions.
Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot
Yeah.
of hater comments, which is fine. I mean, the vocals. It was all about the vocals, and I mean, they're not for a lot of people, but like, there were so many people who were like all about the vocals, and then so many people were like, "These are fucking terrible." Like, are you serious? Like, they're like, is this a fucking joke? Like, this guy sucks and I hate it. And they're like, fuck this.
F the
And,
haters, bro.
like, but then people would like get into fights in the comments, so that was cool.
I like that.
And but like, yeah, it's totally like not for a lot of people. Like, if you like normal metal and normal metalcore, you're like, oh my god, this fucking sucks. And like, but then other people are like, this is like so emotional and like it like super impacted them. So that was like really cool to hear at the same time. People being like how much the song like meant to them, and like, yeah, for every like person who didn't get it, there was like a person who got it. So it is cool.
And I feel like the discourse kind of helped you guys, like in the
It
comment
did,
section.
yeah,
and
it
stuff.
totally did because they started blowing up.
That was the first one that
Right,
gained
yeah.
traction.
People were just like destroying our comment sections, but because it was getting so much interactions, it kept like boosting it in the
Boosting
algorithm.
itself, yeah.
Some people spend all day arguing.
Yeah, yeah, for
What are you
real.
doing?
Yeah.
There's still someone to this day that leaves hate shit.
And
on
guess
our post
what?
Because of that video.
This
He's
is
like,
America.
Yeah.
So
Fuck.
keep them
And-
coming,
and,
bitch.
And you guys are like, this is helping us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I straight up, this dude was like giving us shit, and I was straight up like, you do realize that you're actually helping us out, right?
Yeah. It was after you said that, and like I texted you, I was like, "Do you think this is a good idea, man?"
I was like, yeah,
and
this is.
you were like, "Yeah, just I'm gonna say this one thing, and then we're just gonna turn it off and just let it just implode on itself." And perfect.
And it helped.
Yeah.
I think it's just the,
Cheers
the
to the
contrast
haters.
of like the first two videos, you know, had some touch of goofiness to them. So it felt like people could goof along with us. And then one time where it's just straight up us under a freeway, people are like, all right, now's my time to like,
Yeah.
you're not being funny. Okay, I
Yeah.
won't be funny either. Type
Right.
shit.
And I'll say those videos aesthetically did look a little more produced, like more professional than the other two because they were less silly. I think the
Mhm.
locations were cool, and if you weren't from Milwaukee, you'd be like, this is an established band who paid like a bunch of money for this music video,
Sure.
and then they hear it and you either like it or you hate it. And if you hate it, you're like, oh, they're like going really hard, putting all this money into this production, but
Mhm.
it sounds like shit or whatever.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you saw our
It is
first
kind
two,
of-
if you saw the first two videos,
And-
so like you would understand by that
Mhm.
point.
Right.
Yeah, but I think it fueled people to like hate on it even more.
Just
Sure.
because of the fact that it wasn't trying to be stupid.
Yeah, and they
I
thought
think,
it was
like-
like more serious.
Mhm.
Right.
It's like-
Yeah. That's
even though
that's
it
really
is, like-
interesting, man. Yeah. Like, oh no, they're trying to be real. So
Yeah,
we
but
should
they were like,
shit
these
on them.
vocals are stupid.
Yeah,
It's like the
it's
vocals were the same, dude.
And they
Like
were
in the
like-
last two music videos.
Yeah.
It's like
like-
when you see somebody doing good, and they probably assumed you're doing good because you had a good looking music video, and like some people just want to throw stones when people are doing good.
Yeah,
So
it's like it's just classic bullying,
yeah.
which is funny. It's like
Yeah.
2023.
It's like, oh, look at these guys with their music video. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hate on them.
Fancy production.
Right.
Well, I think too,
They'll
like
cover Guns N' Roses.
They're taking themselves seriously. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
That's not punk rock.
Shout out to that guy, whatever that guy's name.
well, like and two, like a lot of
I won't say it. I know it, but I won't say it.
I don't know. A lot of
Yeah.
the hater comments, I feel like people got drawn to the YouTube, but like Facebook for some reason, like there was a reel that was on Facebook that I feel like the Facebook started showing it to like I guess people who wouldn't actually like it, like a lot of like I don't know, whatever, people who just like
They like Avenged Sevenfold.
or something, I don't know, just like not anything like that with vocals like that. I mean, probably, generic whatever vocals. I mean, people can like what they like, but like I feel like the Facebook algorithm decided to show it to a bunch of people who like wouldn't like it, and then that just like
I remember talking about that.
caught traction. So
I think that was good though. I feel like it made your supporter like feel like they're willing to go to war for you now. Like
yeah, and I mean the
Yeah.
amount. That's what I was
For
trying to
sure.
say was cool with the amount of people that like would message or comment and say how much that song was like super meaningful to them was like really cool to hear. And it did get a lot of like genuine feedback, for every like hate comment. So that was really
Shout
nice
out to you guys. Thanks for having us back. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
But also, I would argue that it's probably the darkest song
definitely.
on the EP. I mean, they're all pretty dark.
Yeah,
But-
they're all pretty dark in
You know
their
what I
own
mean?
way. Like,
Like-
I don't know. Yeah.
I guess just like
it's
the
a unique
shift.
type of grief.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's a super grief song. I mean, it's about like, literally abandonment and then like losing loved ones in a lot of different aspects. It was like taking aspects from loss and relationships and just like life in general through like a lot of circumstances and kind of like combining it in like a melting pot of like all that. I mean, there was literally things about like people who had committed suicide in my life and then also like the loss of like my pets. So it's just like all kind of like throwing like the forms of grief into like one thing, and that like not being able to say goodbye, that like just like loss and like no closure, like all that just like wrapped into one like general like sad emotion.
Yeah. Think again before you talk shit.
It was like a chili or something, or a
what?
goulash. Just pouring all the ingredients in the pot.
Oh, gotcha.
All the ingredients are sad.
It was like it's chili.
It was like like
Yeah,
all spicy.
what?
No. It's extra spicy but extra sad chili.
I think
Turn up the sad.
I don't know. I'm happy as fuck whenever I eat chili, dude.
Yeah, you make good chili.
I mean, like a goulash.
I
Yeah,
haven't
that's why I
had
said
it, but you
goulash.
make good chili.
I do make good chili.
But-
Hell yeah.
That song definitely brought out the haters, but it proved that you guys have shooters on your team too. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
F the
Oh, yeah.
haters,
Very
bro.
well said.
F the haters.
F the
Frick
haters.
We love our haters, man. Keep it coming.
I don't know about that.
All right.
I mean, people can hate all they want. That's
Yeah,
fine.
we're not going to stop you.
I appreciate annoying people and making enough of an impact where they feel compelled to take a few seconds out of their day to comment
Yeah.
on something.
I appreciate all the people that have died for this country so that you can say whatever the fuck you want on the internet. That's what I appreciate.
Hell yeah. Tying back to the visual aspect of this video, how were you able to sort of meld the two times of day into sort of the meaning of the song? Because there's a very apparent switch where it's maybe not like there's a moment in the video where it goes from light to day, and it kind of correlates with a lyric or a part that's happening musically. Kind of interested how you thought through that, and maybe how we sort of came to the decision to like split the video there at one point, and maybe even like the meaning behind the lyric that happened there.
Like, did it take you a minute to like workshop? Like, this is the right spot to like flip that switch? Or,
I think you guys gave me that cue, but there's also audio cues. I think if there's not a time change, there's a tempo change at the very least. I think. And then honestly, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work. Luckily, it kind of worked out. We have like the shot of the moon and stuff, but I was like, there's a very clear transition here. We have night and day shots. All right, so let's transition over. What I was happy about is when breakdown hits later in the song, we switch from night to day back and forth.
Yeah.
I think that kind of like solidified the whole concept and like brought it all together a little bit better. And also, I think the shot looks dope when it switches back to day and
It
I pull
does.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, because it's right on the hit. Yeah.
David's doing his like David stomp, but then
Yeah.
also we're like
Ripping the pants.
the gravel like dust flies up.
That's
too.
one thing I wanted to say about the day scene, the earlier scene, is I liked how like we were kicking up dust a lot. That was visually cool.
It's metaphorically cool because we kicked up dust on the internet and people are like, "This fucking sucks." It's like, shut up.
But that like you were saying, that is
Shut up.
that is a cool like thing about the switch between the night and the day, because it goes to like from the super chaotic like part to like the pretty like twinkly guitar picking part to the singing, to the clean singing, and John's literally saying like the line, "I'll see you in hell by the end of the night," and then it turns to night, and so it's very cohesive with like that moment.
It just
in the
suited too
song.
for like slower shots to
Yeah.
longer shots.
I mean, it goes into like a ballad section
Yep.
Right.
after a super mathcore section, which is kind of weird in and of itself.
Shout out to Mathcore Index.
Mathcore
Christian.
Index.
Mathcore Index.
Yeah.
Everyone
Index.
like and subscribe Mathcore Index. The best place for any music.
How do you guys
Ever.
know that Mathcore, Mr. Mathcore?
Christian, the Mathcore king, Mr. Mathcore.
Mr. Mathcore came down the chimney one night.
we connected.
David tweeted at him.
Yeah, we connected on the internet. That's yeah, pretty much. I tweeted at him, and then he like found the band, and then I just like started talking to him more and more, and he's super nice and super supportive, and yeah, he's done so much for the band. I just love him, and I can't like thank him enough for like all the help and exposure. He like helps, like he's just about the music scene and helping like underground music. Like literally, like their motto is just like helping or like promoting DIY music, and that's just like what they do.
He seems really invested.
Yeah, he is. It's like that's like his life. That's like all he's about. And so yeah, thanks Christian for being like the man.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out
Oh,
Math
yeah,
Index
Christine.
on the one time.
And then I think before we wrap it up, I just
Pants.
want to talk about. I think this is David's most physically challenging video.
Yeah, you had a tough day.
You had a tough day that
Yeah,
day.
I,
Fucking blew your pants out.
Yeah, I ripped my pants pretty hard.
Both ends.
Yeah.
Stuff flying out of both ends.
Right, yeah, I ripped my pants. Lucky I was wearing my good old tighty whities.
Of course.
You know, they're my.
The non-skid mark ones.
I don't.
No, they were probably the same
Yeah,
ones.
they are the same ones. You think I wear a different pair? Come on, man. I had to get ready like for the dirtiness of the
That's
shower.
so gross.
Yeah. For
Change
sure.
your fucking britches, bro.
They
Go
gotta
to
get
Costco. They sell everything in
No.
24s.
I had to make sure they were dirty.
Yeah.
Make sure
Dude
they
said
were.
So-
bridges.
Yeah, so I ripped my pants. You can like freeze frame the video, catch out the rip, check out some of the ripped pants if you
Catch
want.
the nards.
Yeah, it's in the night scene when the pants got extra ripped. But I threw up multiple times at the day scene and the night scene. I had to go behind.
I didn't notice the day scene.
Yeah, I threw up
No,
at
I
the day
noticed
scene.
up at the
Yeah,
day
I threw
scene.
up at the day scene. Even I was throwing up early. I was,
He's
you know,
hiding.
if you're gonna throw up all day, you gotta start early.
You're a
So-
are you a shameful puker?
No, I was just like coughing and getting sick, and then I went behind the pillar and threw up on some heroin needles. And that was all good. Yeah, and then I
Calm
was
down. Get your AIDS.
Yeah, I was throwing
Yeah.
up in the bushes at
Hep C
the
anyone?
at the other scene. Yeah, the night one.
Yeah, that was
But-
rad.
My favorite thing about you throwing up though is you were throwing up earlier and it wasn't caught on video.
Yeah.
And then you started throwing up again, and we got that on video, but you were mad
That it
because
wasn't
you weren't throwing up as much the second time.
right. Yeah, I mean, you didn't get my full like the
Projectiles.
the big load. You got like the
Money shot.
Yeah.
Money shot.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, you didn't get the good one, or whatever. But better late than never, right?
I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
All right. Well,
I mean, if you don't throw up, you just don't go hard enough.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, what would you say the main contributor to that was?
Throwing up?
Yeah.
I mean, I was drinking a lot of water, so there's that. But I mean, I don't know. It's just hot, and it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, I got a problem with throwing up. I do it too much, but like, I don't know. I just get in that zone, and it's like I just start coughing, and then I just like, it's like, oh, it's coming up.
Were you
I was out of breath a lot, and I was out of
yelling a lot
shape.
and stuff? Were you yelling under like while you're kind of performing?
It's like not doing the full. I mean, sometimes, but like I'm mostly just like trying to like act it. So it's like I don't know. I was just overexerting myself. Like honestly.
But it's also like because at least what I do and what on stage and what I do for music videos, not necessarily too far apart. I try to focus more on like the technical aspect of it so that I fucking play the songs right.
Yeah.
But the God damn it.
Well, in a music video, you're just like overdoing it. I
Yeah,
feel like you're
you
trying to
want
be
it to
over
translate.
dramatic. Like you're trying to like just go over the top like as hard as you can in the music video because just,
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot the word I'm on.
So I feel like only like 90% of that energy actually translates. So if you go overboard, it'll look like that's what you got to do to make it look hype on video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The adrenaline.
Oh, the
Really,
adrenaline,
like
there you go.
it kind of comes up from, your plums, and
Yeah.
it causes havoc.
The
And
lungs.
that's I felt like I was gonna throw up at shows just because, and it was just because of the adrenaline. You're just going, dude. Like blood is pumping.
It's a weird environment.
When you guys
It
are
is.
at a show, do you feel like the show happens to you, or do you happen to like them, like the crowd?
Oh, that's a
Wow,
really
that's a
good
great question.
I guess I feel like a lot of times I've been like starting the show, and then if the crowd gets more interactive, I get like surprised. I still don't feel like honestly at this point that a lot of people like our band and like are very like at the show to see us. So I'm like surprised if people start like doing anything at the show. Like for me, at least right now. So
I am definitely trying to output a lot into the crowd. So yeah, definitely trying to make a show out of it from my
Telling
perspective.
5 people to mosh for pizza bagels.
Yeah, yes, that exactly.
Yeah.
Just because I agree with what you said. Like we haven't found our stride live yet, but also I think people aren't quite sure what to like make of us live.
yeah, I feel
So-
like we don't like as like moshy of a band or whatever. Like people don't like have that super like pit energy, and we don't have like, especially in the music we're playing right now, because we've only played a couple of the new songs so far. The new songs compared to the first EP doesn't have very many true breakdowns in my opinion, and the second EP does have a lot more breakdowns that are actually breakdowns. So like I feel like we're not like a breakdown band as much, so people don't like go hard as much, and it's like really like abrasive and chaotic, so like people aren't always like knowing like what to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like if people are there and they don't know you, like they're just kind of like listening and waiting for like a tempo that they can like kind of groove for. They're like,
Yeah.
they don't want to be
It's
caught
more-
like out of place when you're like you shift time signatures and they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a little shocking to like just hear us for the first time.
Right.
For sure.
I was gonna say, when you guys play, are you thinking a lot, or is the performance over and you're like, oh, it's like over before I really could like take anything in?
First off, I think that no matter what, we happen to the show because we have to play. Whether or not the show happens to us is, like, to go on off of your last question, is if the crowd interacts the way
it's
that...
It's in your hands.
Right, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's... I'm going to happen to the show no matter what. You know, you'll have to beat me up in a parking lot or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
But, you know, it is... You could definitely tell.
Yeah.
You know, over the years, especially David and I, we can vouch for the fact that some shows just don't happen to you, you know.
Yeah.
But no matter what, you're playing. So, and
Yeah, sometimes
Trevor
like,
too. Like, this is some of the worst shows that we've ever played. Yeah, you know that.
Do you guys get nerves while playing, or is it like before? Like, what is going through your head while you're playing? Outside of like noticing people in the crowds, like internally, are you like nervous about a part that's coming up, or are you fully confident in what you're doing and just like flowing through?
I'm fully confident in the fact that it's a live show, and in order to play and portray myself the way I want to, there's a bit of a sacrifice on skill at some points.
Yeah, you do move a lot.
Yeah. And to me, looking like I'm having a good time and wanting to be there and wanting people to react to the way that we're looking on stage is more important than being technically perfect.
Yeah, and it relaxes the crowd, man.
Yeah.
Like, even doing something like stupid, you know. I mean, we played like floor level shows and stuff like that. I've been in the zone and just like walked into the crowd, and people just kind of just like accept it. Like, people actually kind of get more into it if you're doing something like that, interacting physically,
Right.
and not just like standing up like I'm the guitar player of this band.
All of a sudden, they're kind of part of the show if you like bring it to them.
Sure.
Instead of them just like
But-
watching from the outlines.
Also, to answer your question about nerves, I do get nervous, but not necessarily because of like the people aspect of it. It's more so like knowing. I get nervous or like anxious about like what I'm about to put myself through,
And that's
because
all,
it
like,
is
before the
like
show.
super physical. Like,
Mm.
I typically don't feel very good for a few minutes after.
When you guys are done with the set, are you like, obviously you're exhausted, but your first thought after, you're like, all right, I've done this. Like, are you proud of the fact that you accomplished the set, or are you like, wishing that it could go longer even, or you're like,
No, move here.
Yeah.
Move here. That's the end of the show. We have to move everything off the stage. That's
Yeah, the show.
the very first
the last
thing.
song ends and it's like get everything off the stage as fast as possible, and then
While you feel like you're
Then
gonna
you can
throw
yeah,
up.
and then I can like sit down and process it all.
Yeah.
But
We give
Yeah,
we
it's-
give each other like, you know, pass bys if we're like, hey, go draw like a fucking, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's number one priority is Raptor cables.
make
Get
sure
your
the show
fucking
keeps
shit.
moving on time,
Yeah.
and then figure out your own personal
Yeah.
shit afterwards. But
Mhm.
it's an interesting environment to be in. Like,
I do feel like as like the newer guy, like you guys have way more many shows under your belts than me, so I can like speak to like the nervousness thing. It's like, yeah, I'll be like nervous a day before the show, or even like nervous minutes up to the show. But like as soon as I'm kind of up there, it's like I don't want to be nervous like on stage, you know. So I kind of just
kind
want
of switch.
I want to play all my stuff right, and like that's like always on my mind. But at the same time, I just want to have fun and like enjoy like being present, you know, with everyone. And Yeah, that's something I'm working on too. Is like looking into the crowd more and like trying to get people going. Like I don't have a mic. You guys are like the voice of the band, but like as like a bass, like you're kind of like the Rock, right? So it's like I want to like.
Dwayne.
Unfortunately, I'm not Dwayne the Rock, but like I just.
What?
Well, let me take off my mask.
That's
No.
wild.
But I bet he's a better bass player than I am, dude. Probably.
No way. Not a chance. His arms are too big.
Yeah, way too big. Probably gonna wipe his own ass.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, if you're listening to this, please sponsor us.
Shout out, Dwayne The Rock.
give us a follow, dude. Consensually.
I love you and
smash
Jumanji.
the like button. I'm just saying it's like a mix of both. I'm not trying to be nervous or I'm not trying to like go too crazy, but I'm just trying to be present with my bandmates and have fun and have a good show. If these guys are feeling good about it, then like I'm feeling good about it. So.
Yeah. No, I get nervous driving to shows for some reason. Just like the anticipation of like, I need to be on time. Do I have all my stuff? I need to remember all the things that I need to play. But then it's like, I've played all of these songs thousands of times.
Yeah.
And then we get there and I get everything inside and these assholes are here. And it's like, okay, yeah.
Right.
Let's
The
play a show.
last show we played was our first time headlining at Cactus Club, and that was like awful for me
Really?
to have to sit the entire
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Show
See,
up-
no, the refrigerator
show up-
upstairs was filled with
Yeah.
ham. So.
Me
To
and
like-
Tom were chilling.
Yeah, I was chilling, dude.
to like show up and then
I got a panini. That was
like
dope.
yeah, and so did I.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
to have to sit for like 4 hours through the entire show and like the anticipation
And
of
then
it
you're like,
building.
all right, we have to go top all of this.
not even that, just like the
Just,
I
like,
just, wanted
waiting
to
and,
play.
like,
It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Get a little anxious.
feel like a racehorse, so I'm just like ready to go.
Yeah.
And then once we got there and like the first song hit, immediately just locked in and it was all fine. But
So you're locked. I would be scared of like getting taken by the moment, and then being like, oh crap, I like forgot where I am and what I'm playing, and like forgot my spot in the song. Like,
yeah, and I think
Just
that's the
gotta ride it,
important
dude.
thing too with like playing shows, and especially in the style that we do, is if you mess up, really the only one that knows is yourself. Because like
especially people don't
from
know
my
you.
perspective, I can't like hear them really that much. I hear like sort of the jumbled,
Yeah.
noise of what's happening, but in terms of like a super detailed thing, if he plays the 4th fret instead of the 5th fret, like
Yeah.
I can't hear that, and also neither can anyone in the crowd. So
Yeah. Unless you're like, borderline insanely just focusing in on what we're playing, which you're probably not. You know what I mean?
Right.
you're trying to figure out what David's doing,
For sure.
parading back and forth on the stage.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, yeah.
No, I'm just waiting for your counts, man. That's all I'm waiting for.
Yeah, all I'm doing when we're playing shows, I'm trying to stay on the click so
Yeah.
that our show stays intact and the bass drops line up.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that.
I don't know. As for like nerves, I wouldn't say like nervous as much, but I'm very aware of like how I'm doing, and if I feel like I'm fucking up, then like I'll get more self-conscious. I'll be like less natural, and like I feel like it kind of goes downhill. Like I don't know. It's more then I'm more so worried about like what's going on than just like doing it. And the best shows I've had are when like it just feels like, I guess, relaxed. If like the crowd's interacting more, or like people are in a better mood and you're just like cracking jokes, or like just like talking, like I don't know, just like natural things like that always just like helps the vibe, and like it lets you just like think more, or lets you think less about what you're doing and more of just like letting it happen, and that like will make for a better show. Because I guess I feel like you kind of like will go on, or I do, like go on like a downward spiral if I'm like, start to feel like it's going bad, or like I was fucking up or something like that, and then it'll like, get worse than that, and I'll be like it's like less about just like doing and more about like what's going wrong and stuff like that.
Do you look
Less than
forward to
3.
certain vocal parts in the songs? Are you thinking like, oh, I'm about to like hit them with this?
Yeah, there's definitely parts. There's definitely parts I like and parts that I don't like, or parts that worry me. You know, and like I'm like, oh, I really need to like do this part good. You know, and sometimes I'm like worried about running out of breath.
Or
Worried
you,
about
save yourself for the next line.
yeah, stuff like that. You know, sometimes I really need to like be very mindful of like what's going on. Otherwise, like I'll mess it up, or like like some parts are hard. Like if it's like an intense part to like keep it like going like the way I want it to sound the whole time, and that's the different things too about like the vocals like live and like on recording. They're not always the same thing, and sometimes I just do something a little different, and like sometimes like I will talk more instead of scream, or like I don't know, do like different screams in different spots, and it's kind of like just trying to go with like what I'm feeling at the moment. So that's what's like also fun, but like sometimes like I don't know, makes it like different, But.
Every show's a little unique.
Yeah, every
Yeah,
show it definitely is different, and so like that's what's like cool
Which-
about it.
There's a certain I guess we'll tie it all together to like be able to do sort of the improv-y stuff. I guess there's a certain amount of confidence in your ability that you have to like free up enough brain power to like stray from your muscle memory. Like, okay, I could just rely on this and do this drum fill the way I know how to, the way that I've been doing it for 2 years now. But like,
Yeah. And a slight
Throw
smidge of like,
something else
I don't
in there.
really care.
yeah,
You know
that
what I
too.
mean?
That too. It's
Yeah.
like if I fuck up,
It's like I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna play it again. So
yeah,
yeah,
but
jazz note. Yeah.
that's playing a show, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I love when I'll hear Trev throwing something spicy that's not what I hear all the time off the straight track, like or even you play a little something a little different on the guitar. It's like I as a fan I love when bands do that. So being in the band and hearing you guys do that, it's like nice.
Nice,
Nice.
sick.
Yeah.
All right, well I think that's gonna wrap up this episode. And
Check them out on
Good shit.
MySpace.
check them
Yeah,
out.
MySpace.
MySpace. Follow us on TikTok. We're not very good at it, so we need some
No,
help.
Instagram's our best.
Yeah.
Social
Instagram,
media. Or Spotify.
Twitter,
Socials.
You guys
Spotify.
should be on TikTok.
We are on TikTok.
We're on it.
Well,
No,
we just
it's
got
I
that
looked it
right.
up. You got like a couple posts on it.
Yeah, like I just said,
Like,
we're
we
not,
really got it.
we're not very good at it, like
Really
I
got
just
it.
said. All right, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.